What's up, everyone? Welcome to Three Chicks in a Pod. I am Megan Price. This is Jen.
Hi, welcome to Three
How are
Chicks,
you doing
guys.
today?
Good. How are you, Miss Megan?
I'm doing really well, and our third co host will be joining us just shortly. This is Three Chicks in a Pod, all female cast for the Sideline Sports, only all female show.
Woohoo.
We'll be doing a 30-minute show, and here is our third co host, Carrie. What's up?
Hello, how are you guys tonight?
Doing really well.
Good. How are
How
you?
I'm super excited. Period.
Me too.
I was so
Me too.
excited. I jumped out of bed this morning. I was so stoked.
Right. So let's talk about a little bit of why we wanted to do an all women show. Not that we're only going to discuss women, but we wanted all women in the panel.
We just wanted our voices heard, I think. Like it's something I've wanted for a while, and Carrie and I have talked about it for a while. And finally I was like, I think I'm ready for a podcast. So I hit Carrie up and I was like, I kind of want to talk to Megan. I want to ask her, and but as busy as you are, didn't want you to feel pressure because you're like the podcast queen over there. So but
For
Carrie
sure.
and I have been totally like the three of us have been so amped up about this. And we just want to give a woman's voice because even a couple of weeks last week, if you anyone watched the pundit, Jacob Krishner had shared a tweet with everybody talking about how 1/3 of the of NBA had now had women following. And I was like, why is this even newsworthy? Women have been active and involved. And I was like, you know what, Jacob, just check out Three Chicks in a Pod. So,
Right. Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. I know for me personally, I have a special place in my heart for women athletes, female athletes, and especially women's basketball. Y'all know what it means to me personally. But I just felt like there were so many strides and movements made by women, not only female athletes, but in the sports world, whether it's front office, whether it's management, whether it's coaching. Shout out to Becky Hammond, head coach, went back to the W. It just means so much to me personally. So I just felt like this was an avenue that really is close to my heart personally.
yes.
So for me, this is a venture into something new, exciting. New as in I'm stepping out of a comfort zone and instead of being um, uh, talking in chats or on a post, I'm putting my face to it and putting it out live. I feel like we've always had a voice, or we've always been there. We've just not ever had a voice. And
Right.
thinking back, when I left high school and graduated in '88, the thing I loved the most in high school was being a part of the sports program and being the stat girl and being out there and being a part of that. That was
Right.
fun for me. And I'm like, well, that's what I should pursue. Except in the '80s, late '80s, that wasn't something that was pursued by women. Was very much. I was told that it was a very male dominated area and we didn't need to be in
Right.
anything that's related with sports. That was just we could be in the kitchen making the snacks type thing was basically how it was presented to me. So, this is now a chance for me to say, hey, you're wrong.
Right. Right.
And our mutual person that brought us all together also saw something in me, and he encouraged me to bring my voice to the NFL carousel to introduce you guys, and then to learn and grow from there. So I just think it's been a
Right.
natural progression for me to get to this point.
Absolutely agree. And we'll talk a little bit about our own projects as well. Like y'all said, I'm kind of the podcast queen. More than anything, I'm the queen of hoop. If it's basketball, I'm in there. I know something about it, whether it's high school, college, professional, international. I just ball is life. Love it always and forever. I do the NBA carousel. I'm on Sports Arena twice a week. I'm on the Sip Off. I'm on 806 Sports if you're local here in Amarillo every Wednesday on 13:30 a.m. at 9:35 for a Women's Wednesday segment. So obviously I love the women. And Jen, what do you do throughout the week that puts you in the sports world?
So I've always like my entire life, I've been active and in sports. I was a competitive swimmer, and I would joke around and say my dad had me catching a football by the time I was like 2 years old. I'll tell y'all a secret. You can't tell my husband I told you, but I actually taught him how to throw a football. He played defense. He didn't know how to correctly throw a football. So during the week on Mondays, I do the NBA carousel. On Tuesdays, we've got 3 Chicks in the Pod, and we have another announcement coming up at the end of the show. Another podcast I am blessed and honored to be a part of. We will be announcing that, and that's launching tonight at 11. Then on Wednesday nights, I have Pundit. Thursday nights during the season, we have the NFL carousel. On this Saturday, and occasionally the Set Buff, Miss Megan's baby, and they and this Saturday night I'll be on the Gauntlet, created by James Tatum, co-hosted by Tyler Ingram, JJ or James Jenkins, Dom Darublis, Jay Nielsen, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm so sorry whoever I'm forgetting.
James Tatum, Jay Nelson, Tyler Ingram, and Joseph Jenkins.
Dom.
And Dom, yeah.
Sorry, I can't forget
love
Dom.
you. Yeah. Dom, you're unforgettable, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right.
He was going to roast you.
I know.
Feel free.
I'm just glad he's not watching right now.
Oh, he will make himself known. And if there's anytime there's a topic that you guys want to talk about, just as viewers, feel free to message us, and we will get to it maybe the next week, or if we can talk about it at that moment, we definitely will. So this week, our topic is the difference in playing to win and playing not to lose. So Jen, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I have a couple of examples, but we'll go with the most recent one, which was Sunday night, and my Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum with that buzz-winning shot. Now that was a true ultimate team win. If anyone missed it, like, it was passed around, shot had been taken, shot was missed, rebound taken, then gotten back to Jason, and he went in and got it. That's playing to win. Then at the end of the game, they Celtics put on the Jumbotron what the Nets head coach had said before the game, in that they were not going to win. And that's because they didn't have Rob Williams. They didn't have X, Y, and Z playing. And we were like, okay, here you go, bud. We're not going to win. How you like them apples? So,
right. You know what? And I've got to shout out the Celtics media. They have been some trolls this year, and it was hilarious. They have been pretty hilarious all season long. So
I'm not going to lie.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Marcus Smart on getting Defensive Player of the Year. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of two-way players. So defense is, in my opinion, one of the most important aspects. Of course, you got to have offense, but if you're going to win that championship, it's that old saying, if you're going to win championship with defense. So just shout out to him for that. Carrie, your thoughts on this?
So I actually think that my team, my guys, the Chiefs, were the perfect example of both of both situations in the championship game. This, you look at it, they came out and we were on fire. We were not touchable. We could do no wrong in the first half. And the guys went back and we came back out after halftime. Something happened to me, something happened, some kind of conversation, something happened in that locker room at halftime. But they came back out and we had a substantial lead, and we pulled a Falcon and let the other team come back and win. And we let seriously, we
slam those Falcons, baby. Slam those Falcons. I'll take it all day long.
I mean, but at that point, you watched them because they were more timid. As a fan, you can see when they become more timid, become more. Whether it's a team or a player, you become it as a fan. You're watching, and it becomes where the errors are easily made.
Mhm.
you're trying too hard or not trying your normal, and you're trying to do something spectacular instead of just doing what you're trying to amp that up and bring it back when it's the basics that got you to where you were, and now you've thrown it away. So I mean, that's kind of where I feel like the Chiefs were the tale of two cities that game. It was, yeah, we were
Right.
playing to win. We were playing to keep that championship in our big, in our house. We wanted it there, right? Except we didn't come back out with that same fire.
I
Right.
think that your guys' season last year is really a perfect example of both of those. Like, I felt like in the first part of the season, you guys were playing not to lose. And then we just kind of saw a fire under you guys and y'all kind of meshed. And then we saw a different Chiefs halfway through the season and what we were used to seeing. So, that's a great example. Personally, I feel like the Bucks last year, their championship run, I felt like majority of the regular season, we saw the Bucks just playing not to lose. We saw them dropping games that they had no business dropping, and we still see some of that this season as well. And even through the playoffs, I felt like we saw that. Like, really, the only reason the Bucks made it to the finals was because KD's foot was on the line on that last 3-pointer, and so I felt like they were playing not to lose. I didn't feel the tenacity, the leadership, and that difference within the Bucks until they got to the finals. And they went down early in the series. The Suns were up by quite a bit, and they made those adjustments. And it's like every single game they showed up to win, not to play, not to lose, but to win. And so something that I wanted to read a quote is, when you're playing to win, you understand mistakes are made in every game. It's part of the process. When you're playing not to lose, you're scared to make mistakes. When you're playing to win, you're willing to take risks. And when you're playing not to lose, you play it safe.
Exactly.
Well, who said that?
I'm not sure.
I still like it.
No, that's awesome.
Like it.
And I agree that, I mean, even as fans, we can see when we're playing it safe, when we're just trying to make sure that we end up with a W. You can watch it. It doesn't matter what sport. It doesn't matter if it's a solo or it's a team sport. Doesn't matter what genre of sport it is. You can tell as a fan when you're watching what kind of passion they brought to the field.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I really feel like that as fans, that's when we get the most frustrated, is when they're just playing it safe. When listen, if you will just do what you have the passion for, what your talent allows you to do, and quit trying to play it safe or heroic, however you want to present that, but just play with your passion, and your talent will then shine. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's where I get most frustrated with when I'm watching my guys, is they're playing it safe. They're not trying to win. They're trying, but it's like it's a lackluster emotion.
It seems like a preventative measure. Like you're just scared to take those risks. And something within one of my own teams. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and
we forgive you for that and love you anyway.
Our star cornerback led the league this year in picks, and everybody talked about how much he got burnt in coverage, which that was true. But you know what? He took risks. He was out there to get the record. He was out there to get
playing to win.
My opinion as well.
Now,
I
actually thought it might have been your year this year, Megan. I really thought it was a good chance for y'all to have that year. Finally, I've been hearing it since 1995.
Listen, Dak had something to present. He had something to prove to himself, to the league, to his family, to his fans, to everyone, and you could tell that day in and day out.
I feel like Dak was also playing a lot for his brother last year.
I was going to say his family. I really feel like there was a whole encompassing. There was a lot on his plate and a lot to ignite his passion, and you could tell that.
Right.
And I think this season he comes back and it's going to be more of a chip on his shoulder, just because of the way things ended for us, the way the season ended. Like, he started out so great, and then, the season kind of fizzled off. And not that I really thought we were going to do much in the playoffs, but I just felt like Dak's performance personally kind of fizzled out. And I feel like just the intensity of the injury And this just kind of goes to speak to that winning mentality. Not that he's not a winner, but that the injury was so severe that it can affect you mentally. And so I feel like mentally is the difference here in playing to win or in playing not to lose.
Right.
You know, we've seen Karl Anthony Towns be in the league for 8 years, 7 seasons, something like that. And I've always felt like he had tons of talent. He was about himself, but he wasn't playing to win. And I see a difference now with the Timberwolves when they added Anthony Edwards, and that's somebody that's in it to win it. And I think he brought that mentality to that team. And we see how great they're doing now. They stole game 1 in Memphis, the 2 seed.
Right.
And, yeah, and even look at like going to the Phoenix Suns, Mikal Bridges. Like, I mean, I regret that we gave him up. Like, we traded him on draft night. I think he was with us. We traded. I know he got traded on draft night right after he got drafted. But yeah, like that kid plays to win every single day. And like,
and hasn't he not missed a game in like 3 seasons? Yeah, 3 seasons. Hasn't missed a game.
And it's like, I think they've all taken heed of what Michael Jordan used to say. So to steal you, I'm stealing one of his quotes. But Michael Jordan said, I play to win, whether during practice or a real game, and I will not let anything get in the way of me and my competitive enthusiasm to win. No one embodies playing to win more than Michael Jordan, in my opinion.
Agree. Only other person that really comes to mind, or not only, but another person that comes to mind with that is Kobe, and it's that Mamba mentality and what he brings to that situation as far as, you know, what he does in practice. He's going to win in practice, and that's why he's going to win on the court as well. And just he brought that same intensity to every aspect of his life. Now, on the other side of things, I think there's one other aspect of this, and this is playing to lose. We see it a lot in the fighting world, people taking the fall, but I think we see it in the baseball world too. Shout out to my Rangers. You guys played to lose. 2011 World Series. Nelson Cruz, for life. I hate you.
Nothing personal, but I don't like you at all.
Yeah, nothing personal. I don't like you at all. Year before, we were also in the World Series. We made it there. This is the only times we've made it to the World Series, and I felt like we lost naturally. In 2010, it hurt. 2011, I was mad. I could tell it just didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like it was the right, like it occurred naturally. And it felt like, specifically watching him, it felt like he played specifically to lose.
Yeah, I can see that. And it sucks when you're like, so with my Panthers the past 2 years, I felt like they were playing to lose. I don't know why, because you were for a hot minute the number 1 highest paid NFL coach, but hey, let's go lose out. But then you've got like the Browns, who I forgot. What's the Browns head coach name? Let me look it up.
Well, even there in Miami, we saw that the Miami tried to have their head coach lose on purpose.
Do you think Flores was trying to lose on purpose at the beginning of the season?
Not at all. I think he has too much integrity for that.
I think that's probably what was his undoing, was the fact that he wouldn't buy into, I'm going to play to lose, because that's a reflection not only on the organization, but everybody that buys into it.
Right. Absolutely.
So why would you want to tag yourself with that? Why would you want to tag yourself with that? Especially the quality that Flores brings. I mean, what he brings to the plate. Why would he?
Right.
Why would he sell his integrity for no reason? I mean,
right.
Yeah,
I completely agree. No, I think he has too much integrity for that.
And I was thinking of Hugh Jackson, because he was saying that the Browns had tried to get him to literally get paid to lose games. I don't know what happened there. I still think he has those receipts, but he didn't. They just stink anyway and still lost. So
right.
I mean, it was still the Browns.
And I say that as a Panthers fan. So, hey.
as our dear friend Alex Fleming would say, they're still irrelevant.
Right.
And
It's
then,
all right, Alex.
I would love to hear his take on Baker now, but anyway.
oh man, I have so many examples of that. And I think this is something that you have to take into an aspect in your own life. Like you were talking about, sports was a direction that you wanted to go to early on in life, and it didn't come to fruition until now. And myself too. I'm not incredibly young. I'm 36, 37 next month, and so I think later in life we've kind of found our passion and where we want to be, and you have to decide: is this something that you're going to do as a hobby? Is this something that you're going to do just to just do it? Are you gonna do this to not necessarily win, but succeed at what you're doing?
So for me,
Right.
I'm gonna jump in here. So for me, all of us have our trials and tribulations that we walk through. We all have our fire that we have to stand at the corner and say, I'm either going to walk across it or I'm going to let it engulf me. That being said, I am now walking across that fire. I'm now bringing that fire and lighting the passions inside me and lighting what I want to be a legacy, my legacy, one that someone says, well, I remember when she. So I want somebody to say, oh, 53, I'll be 52 this year. Is that right? What is this year? I don't know. It's born in 70, so I'm lost at the moment.
2020.
My best friend's wife had to tell me on Saturday how old I was, as my husband and my best friend looked at me in a box. I was like, no, I'm this old. And they were like, you're this old. And I'm like, yeah. She looked at me, she goes, did you forget how old you were? I was like, yes. And she's one of my closest friends too. Shout out Melissa.
So at 52, I'm like, okay, you don't like me? Fantastic. But here's what I love. Here's my passion. Here's where I want to put my voice. Here's how I want you to see me. Whether you accept that or not, that's fine. But I'm playing to win now. I'm playing for me now. I'm playing to show myself, my son, whoever wants to be a part of this, that, hey, age is a thing. Your timing is yours. You get to choose it, and you either get to walk across that fire or you let it engulf you. And that's your play to win, or you play to survive. And I'm playing to win now. I've already survived. I need to play to win now.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where I think we all are in life. We all like to play to win. Like, hold on, let me turn my light on and grab the right coffee mug. I have one that's a little aggressive that I can show you guys off camera, but not on camera.
I know personally for myself that my competitive nature, I don't know if I've ever really just there's been moments when you have to survive, but I think I've always been trying to be in it to win it. Right.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Right.
That's totally me. I'll send you guys a picture of the other one. You'll know why I didn't put it on.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we have a special guest in the studio. We want to shout out some of the other sideline shows. So we have JB Ellis.
Hello, ladies. Great show. I'm enjoying it.
Thanks.
Proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right, so, JB gave me my start. Actually, my first press conferences were because of JB, and it was within the WNBA. I got to do a press conference for the Indiana Fever, and it was a learning process for sure. And I'm so glad that you guys threw them my way. I'm doing media for the Wings now, and just, man, what a start for me from you guys, and I'm super appreciative.
Well, I mean, everybody here puts in the work. You guys, you work just as hard as everybody else. This is great to see. I mean, that's the one great thing about us. We have so many great shows. It was never about our show. It was never about the NFL carousel. It was never about Sports Arena. It's about everybody. And we all work together. We all try and help each other out the best we can. We keep creating more content.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we have 2 new shows plus Sideline Sports. We have Scoop Jackson coming on Sideline Sports at 8:30. And then at 11 o'clock, the new show, Confidential, which should be a lot of fun, covering the Cubs. The Cubs fans,
it's not going to be
crazy.
Fun with the Cubs.
Oh, it's going to be great.
How's your face?
They don't like you people, Carrie. You're out. I can't talk to you anymore. I got to look this way. But it's going to be a lot of fun, you know. And it's, you know, I'm doing so many shows like you, Megan, you know, and Jen, as you're getting more involved. Terry, I'm glad to see you're getting more involved. It's a lot of fun, and we're getting to do what we love, talk about sports. You know, how can you beat that?
I don't think you can. And from a female's perspective, like you guys just give us a chance regardless. And I know there's a lot of situations that, especially in the sports world, that we walk into it and we're already kind of at the bottom of the list for people to take us serious. And I've never felt that way about sideline sports.
Correct.
No, listen, as long as you do what you got to do, I don't know. I've always felt women can do anything men can do. I mean, I don't see the difference. You know, talking about sports, why can't you know what I know? You're watching the same thing I'm watching. You're allowed your opinion. I have my opinion. That's like when you see, what was it, the Oreos last year, I think. They had the first female announcing crew. If I'm correct, it was them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this big talk about it. Really? I mean, I'm proud of the women that got to do it, but is that really such an accomplishment that there should be no reason why they can't do it? If that's what they want to do, you know, who cares?
I can't wait until that's not news. You know, until it's just like regular occurrences. You know,
exactly.
When they have to break in and say that the women's soccer team is now going to be paid like for what they do, that shouldn't be a breaking. That it's 2022. It shouldn't be a breaking news line. That should have not been a breaking news line this year, but it was. I mean, so when we take a step back and look at all the things, sports, ESPN stays on our TV a lot during the day. I'm working, I can hear it in the background, but the things that come across as breaking should be more focused on players or teams as opposed to, well, this is the women, this is women's first time to coach on the MLB field, Why is that something we're going? I mean, yes, let's highlight this, but why should it still be something that's breaking news? Why is that breaking news, and why is it just now a barrier being pursued?
Right.
Like this was the first year that the NCAA tournament allowed the women's to use the March Madness brand. Did y'all know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were sharing that, and that shocked me.
Yeah, it's insane to me.
Were they able to actually use the same locker room as the men this year? Not locker room, but gym.
Mm-hmm.
They had comparable
good
weight rooms, but and I'm sure that everything that was highlighted last tournament that will most likely never happen again. But just that they never even got to use the March Madness brand. So I know that personally that for the three of us ladies that this hits really close to home, and we are super happy to be doing this. I guess real quick we'll give a few shout outs and then we're going to go ahead and end the show. I just want to shout out everybody on the Sip Off. Appreciate you guys. Y'all are my family. And also the carousels, just absolute family. Love you guys.
Yes. And I will agree with that. I, appreciate Alex for getting me involved, having faith in me, from honestly just a group chat that I made him an admin on. And and he just took that and ran with it with me. And I appreciate that more than he knows or knew. Megan, I thank you every day. JB, you too. You guys have been so awesome to me, and Eric Wilson as well. Like all of you guys, and as Carrie was touching base on, like both of you ladies touched base. Like I've honestly never always felt respected, even when we disagreed on a comment or on a football team. So within Sideline Sports. And I just love it. Like, it's honestly fun. We're a big, dysfunctional, fun family that loves and respects each other. And that's awesome. It's just these Cowboys fans we got to get in check.
Got to kick them out. Sorry, Megan.
And those Nets fans. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, the Cubs, good grief. But anyway, the one thing I'm going to say is, and I'll forever be grateful, is Alex took 2 phone calls of 30 minutes or longer to convince me to say yes to the carousel. That was after a week of chats. It took that long for him to be able to convince me that I was worthy of being where I am now.
Well, and you are worthy, and one
Yeah.
of us have
You know,
told
so-
you that a lot, young
So
lady.
it's been, you know, it's been a journey. And so shout out to all that have said thank you and welcome me with open arms, because I love it. I love feeling like I belong somewhere and that I have a voice that's important. So that's my shout out to those that accept us.
Thanks, Carrie. JB, you got anything?
Well, I want to say I'm just really proud of you, the three of you. It's a great show. You're all well respected. You all have great opinions. We may not always agree, and that's good, because if I agreed with someone all the time, that would be mean. That would be
Right.
boring. You know,
Right. Yeah, absolutely agree.
I love to disagree, just as long as it's respectful. And you know, I've always felt that, you know, everybody can have their own opinion, and you know, shouldn't your opinions matter? It doesn't mean we have to agree with you. We just have to hear you
Right.
and respect you.
Awesome.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, JB. Tyler, that is so sweet. Thank you. And you're such an exceptional man. We freaking love you. You are amazing. Thank you for that compliment. And JB, I'm so sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay. That was a great compliment. Tyler's a great guy as well. You know, we're going to miss him until he's settled. And Tyler, you're always welcome back. I know I told you that earlier today, but you're part of the family when you're ready to go. And I love the fact that you put your family first. That to me says a lot about who you are as a person.
And is that Henri Shearer around? Because he no longer ever gets to call on the carousel the Chiefs, because we lost to the Ravens because he was the Chiefs representative. So if that Henri Shearer is anywhere close, just this is your one warning. You're done.
Oh, he said he's always around. Hold on. Always in the background.
You really are, John. You really are.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to close it out for tonight. Thank you, everybody who watched and shared the show or commented. We really appreciate you guys. And we will see you back next Tuesday, same time.
And
Sideline Sports. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry. And check us out. Check Confidential out tonight at 11 o'clock. It'll be a great show, great fun, great people. So sorry.
Absolutely. No problem.